Hey everybody, welcome to another edition of PoCommunity. I'm Mike Arboyd and I'm sitting here with Taylor Muzyczuk from Benjis Bandanas. How's it going?
Good, how are you?
I'm very good. If you guys didn't know, she's actually the winner of our cross promotion we did with ElementIQ on Instagram, and I think it was on Facebook and everything, where basically people nominated businesses who they liked to try to win a little prize package that we have put together. So yeah, tell us about Benjis Bandanas, what you do.
We do a lot. It kind of started out of the blue, like just as a hobby. I was buying them for my dog, and I was spending so much money on bandanas and other accessories for him. So then I started to just do bandanas on my own and making them, and the first few were terrible because I don't know how to sew at all. But then it just kind of progressed, and like you meet so many amazing people, and people just really liked what we were doing. And so it just kind of blew up into more than bandanas. And now we do treats, like single ingredient treats like liver and things that are gross for us.
Yeah.
And we also just added collars and leashes. We also do a monthly gift box, which features a bunch of different local businesses, all within Canada. And kind of have a different theme. So this month is kind of preparing for Easter and it's all Easter themed.
Cool.
What else do we offer? We also have like bow ties, and we have scrunchies and masks, so then you can match your pup. And we also have stuff for cats as well.
Cool. How long have you been doing this for?
Oh gosh, not very long, since about mid-August.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you kind of start it just out of necessity, you said, right? Like kind of just was expensive and it was...
It got really expensive. It was an expensive habit, and my parents were also getting mad. Like, stop spending all your money on the dog.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it just kind of came out of nowhere, and people liked it. So I just kind of rolled with it.
That's cool. I know I like put the word pet or like baby in front of anything, and it will make it like
For
triple
sure.
the price, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's cool that you got into that. And was it just kind of spur of the moment? Did you ever have any plans to kind of go be an entrepreneur at all?
Not at all. It's all been kind of spur of the moment. Everything that I do isn't necessarily planned. It's just I get an idea and I'm like, oh, okay, let's do this.
Yeah,
So it's kind of, it's been blowing up how, like, beyond than what I could have ever imagined. But yeah.
Obviously, yeah, it has, because you had a bunch of nominations by a bunch of different people nominating you as their favorite business, right? So that's a pretty big accomplishment in such a short time. Now that you're doing it, are you like, do you just want to just keep getting bigger with this, keep going with it?
Yeah, sometimes I feel overwhelmed. Like I'm a full-time psych nursing student as well.
Oh, wow.
So my life is very busy. So I just kind of go with the flow with it. If it continues to take off, then it's something that I would continue doing, and kind of growing with the business. But I don't really have plans for it. Just take the opportunities as they come.
So so I'm not going to talk like numbers of how much you're doing and how many bandanas and other things are being bought, but like, did it just start out as something like just doing it for friends or doing it for a few, and then it just blew up?
Yeah, and doing it for friends and family, or like people that I have on like Facebook or my personal social media. And then just noticed the community is so great. The pet community, we're all crazy dog parents, and they're just amazing and so supportive, and it just kind of grew by word of mouth.
Yeah.
So now we kind of sell them beyond locally, and we sell them across Canada.
That's crazy. And did you have a lot of help doing that?
No.
Just figured it out yourself, kind of?
Yeah, just figure it out as they go. A lot of it's me. My parents will kind of step in and like turn fabric inside out, but all social media, everything is all me.
Yeah.
So
did you teach yourself sewing pretty much?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I learned like in middle school. I think we have to take like home ec. So I learned there, and then just kind of retaught myself, I guess, because that was quite some time ago. But yeah.
It's amazing. It's like this generation, in the past generations, so much schooling was a necessity, where people, like, if they wanted to get into a career or anything, they would have to go to school for it, get taught, maybe courses and stuff. But there's so much do-it-yourself now, and teaching yourselves, going on YouTube and just look up how to sew. And now look, that for someone who didn't know how to sew not that long ago, now you're doing it as a career. It's it's astonishing, really, how people, it's more what you can do now than
Mhm.
background schooling and stuff.
Yeah, like you can teach yourself to do anything, like DIY anything.
Yeah.
It's on Google.
Yeah, except it's like there's a few different kinds of jobs that, like doctors, obviously, and
Yeah.
like you need the schooling. There's nobody can just jump in
Yeah.
and do a YouTube tutorial on it. But it's just there is little things that always, like I said, always needed so much,
Mhm.
like so much certification behind it. And now you can go in here and create a following, create something when you're new to it, but still, if you have a good idea,
Mhm.
now is the time. I know, like with COVID and everything, so many people are starting like little side hustle
Oh
businesses,
yeah.
right? And this is kind of, was that kind of what you were?
Yeah, it was something to do to pass the time, and like I'm obsessed with my dog, so it just worked perfectly. But I noticed there is a lot of people kind of now trying to do the bandanas or treats, and there's just so many startup companies now. It's almost becoming saturated.
Yeah.
Which is kind of surprising. A lot of people don't think of that, but there is a lot of other
companies.
Yeah.
So let's talk about your dog, your inspiration to it. You say you love your dog so much.
Yeah.
Benji?
Yeah, that's my baby. Yeah, Benji, I got him almost a year ago. And he like changed my life. Like he's just the greatest little dog. He was terrible for the first few weeks we had him. He was a little brat. But then he like really grew to love us, and he's an Australian Shepherd, so
Nice.
he's very clingy and loyal and needy, which I like a lot actually. And so yeah, he doesn't like people very much. That's why he's not here today.
Yeah.
He doesn't like others. He can be very standoffish and will kind of bark or growl and it intimidates people, but he's just terrified of you.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's just a little ball of joy, and he like shakes his whole butt. Like Australian Shepherds are called wiggle butts, and his whole butt moves when he sees you, and he like we tell ourselves that he says I love you when we get home because he goes like makes like a bark that sounds like three syllables.
Yeah.
And so we're like, oh, he's saying he loves us. And yeah, he's spoiled beyond belief.
Yeah.
Everything that, like all the treats that I make, all the other things, he's the product tester and he knows it.
Yeah.
Anytime there's treats cooking, he's whining at the treats. Yeah, he's a great dog.
Yeah, that's awesome. Did you get him as a pup or was it?
Yeah, so I got him when he was 8.5 weeks old.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that's what we got our dog here, Evie, at the Fountainhead. So we got her at 8 weeks old. The first, let's say, year and a half, she was absolutely bonkers. And then we got her fixed. We were actually thinking about breeding her for a bit, but we decided not to. We didn't have the time. Obviously there's so much time needed for that.
Yeah.
And we got her fixed, and instantly it kind of it brought her mood down, mellowed her out. Perfect office dog you can get now. Like absolutely amazing dog. But that's so cool. Like we all know how much our like four-legged friends mean to be like to families and everything. So for you to start a company out of your love for your dog is amazing. Wish you could be here with us right now.
Yeah, he would just be like growling the whole time.
Aussie Shepherds are amazing. They're beautiful dogs, so that's wicked. So you branched off into other things than bandanas. How did you do that? Are you making that stuff as well? Are you outsourcing or?
Some stuff is outsourced, but I do make like all of our treats, just like little pieces of the meat or whatever is all dehydrated at my own house, and I make that all. But I do outsource like bully sticks and other kind of chews and things like that from another local business. Dobie something. But they're great. They're awesome. She's the sweetest lady. We also, our collars and leashes I don't make. They're from a lady in Niagara Falls, Daisy Collars. And then with our gift boxes, it can be a variety of things. It's just, we don't just do dog stuff now for that. We have like Patsy Joe Bellaroma has been doing like candles for us, soaps, lip balm, all things like that.
Cool.
I've also collaborated with another treat company that does spinach and carrot treats, and they're located in Vancouver, and they're called Canine Treats YVR, I think. So hard to remember them all. We get so many different things, and I try to really connect with the small businesses because I know how like it feels really good when someone reaches out and it's like, oh, like can I purchase your products in bulk to kind of sell to my audience as well.
Yeah.
I think like that was always like the biggest compliment for me.
Yeah.
And so I really like making those experiences for other small businesses as well.
Yeah, obviously that we're in the same business of that. We just want to help other small businesses. We
Yeah.
get almost more joy out of seeing other companies grow
Yeah.
that we've helped than even ourselves. It's a great feeling. Yeah, was the food thing something you just started doing too? You had no experience with that?
Yeah, it was just kind of random. I kind of get inspiration from other like businesses that I've kind of found on Instagram, and I take little bits and pieces from every account and kind of create my own unique thing. But yeah, I think I started that in November. My idea was kind of, oh, like maybe if I branch out into treats, it'll be less work for me sewing all the time. That wasn't the case. I just like for some reason my parents also seem to think that I just take on more and more and more, but I think I'm making my job a bit easier.
Yeah.
But they beg to differ. Yeah.
That means you're a workaholic. And if you're trying to add on to your already busy schedule, that's kind of the mind of an entrepreneur, where it's just constantly thinking. Even if you're already going full steam ahead with something that's successful, you're thinking about the next success and next success after that.
Sure.
So the fact that you've grown it that much in such a short amount of time is crazy, like crazy good. Like that's a lot of work, but in the end, especially if you're succeeding right now, after this crazy thing we're going on in the world right now, you can succeed right now. Just think about what it's going to be like after this.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the thing, and yeah, it's a lot of work, but it's worth it if it continues to grow your brand. So how did you end up like contacting other suppliers, other people across the country? Like, how did you find those people?
Well, some of the people actually found me. The lady in Niagara Falls for Daisy Collars contacted me. But other people, it's just kind of, you see other dog accounts that are kind of brand ambassadors or things like that and showing off what they got from other companies. And so I'll kind of go to them and I'll see what they have to offer. You usually see it just because the dog community is so big, and just by following a bunch of different dog accounts, you kind of see different products that way.
Yeah.
So that's probably been the easiest way that I've found it. But there's been like some, I look for specific things like Dante's Doggy Delights. They do like these decorated dog cookies. And so like they're the only people that I've been able to find, at least like within BC, that do that. So it's harder to find like certain ones, whereas everyone's kind of doing bandanas and doing the treats now.
Yeah.
So like the specialty ones that especially take a lot more work, like those decorated cookies, they're much harder to find. And sometimes I'm just like searching on Instagram, typing in like keywords, trying to find them.
I'm guessing Instagram is probably your best like business outlet.
Yeah, for sure. Instagram has been the greatest like way to connect with everyone as well. It's a bit more personal, I find too, and people can kind of contact you with questions or anything like that.
Yeah, it's amazing what kind of business you run, what social media platform is the best. I could, like anything to do with, I think, pets and like I say, even babies, like things that people take a lot of pictures of, and that's your family, your pets, food, like those industries. I can see just like using Instagram as their number one tool for success. We have quite a good following on Instagram as well, just because of our art. Like we have a niche in the arts when it comes to business. It's not the typical co-working space. We really want to push media into the arts, so that Instagram has been great for that. Because like a lot of people love Instagram that are visual, like they're visual with everything. Some other other platforms like Facebook and stuff can be more businessy and everything. So do you just use Instagram? Do you have a website? Do you promote it on Facebook? Everything?
Yeah, all of the above. Yeah. So Instagram is our main kind of where we post, and then our posts are connected to our Facebook page as well. So kind of whatever's on Instagram will also be on Facebook. But there's a few exceptions. There's some posts that I will only post on Facebook. But we do have a website. I also did that all on my own. In November, we came out with that just in time for the holiday season, because I had a specific kind of vision of what I wanted like people to be able to do on the website, and kind of create your own Christmas box kind of thing.
That's you did your own website too.
Yeah.
Did you have any experience doing that?
Well, my dad actually has a construction business, and so I kind of helped him out with his website,
Yeah.
but it's a completely different website. It's just kind of showcasing what he does as opposed to an e-commerce.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've had no experience with that. I am, thanks to ElementIQ though, I am getting a lot of information on how to like better my website. We've done a lot of training sessions so I can optimize ads and things like that.
Cool.
So that's been super helpful for me because I have no knowledge base of
Yeah.
anything business.
Yeah, I know it's a crazy world to get into, and you figure out very fast how much stuff goes on that is needed for promotion, for
Mhm.
marketing, everything, and try to do it all yourself. It's almost damn near impossible. It's a lot of work. I know, like it's our business, a family run business. We all have experiences in different things, but when COVID hit, especially, we decided we had to become like a jack of all trades in so many different ways because you don't want to spend your money in unnecessary places, so you do it yourself. And the website was one thing. Aaron has a little bit of experience from past jobs, just like editing, but never building it from like scratch.
Yeah.
And she did that, and it's like extreme amounts of work. And I don't think a lot of people getting into business, like I was just saying, know how much work there is behind everything. Just like this podcast, people always see final product. They think, oh, that's awesome. I want to do that. And then they don't know that for every like 10 minutes of podcast, there's like at least triple that in editing time. So it's just it's just, yeah, there's a lot of work behind glitz and glamour, and it takes a ton of grinding work to get it done.
Yeah, definitely a lot of dedication. Even with like a bandana, some people are like, oh, why would I want to pay like $20 for a piece of fabric? But it's like, there is time that goes into it. It's not something that takes me like 5 minutes to do.
Yeah.
It takes time and like finding fabric and things like that. I think it's overlooked. I know I personally probably overlooked it when I first started. I was like, oh, this is easy. I can do that. And then as I started, I was like, okay, this actually takes a lot of time and effort.
Yeah.
So I have a different appreciation now for like small businesses and the amount of time and effort that goes into every single thing that they do.
And time is money. Time is money, and it's when it's quality, there's time put into it, and the person on the other side is not some factory overseas or something.
Yeah, exactly.
It's paying that little bit of extra money is not a bad thing. You should be doing that, supporting your economy and spending those few extra dollars for something that love was put into, right?
Yeah, exactly. And like it makes people excited, like just by supporting other businesses with our gift boxes as well, like how appreciative they are. It's just so amazing to me because like to me it's just, oh, I'm spending say $100 to get these products and kind of advertising their business.
Yeah.
But to them they're like, someone just bought it for $100, and like that's so significant because every little purchase is like, oh wow, someone bought something. I still get so excited anytime like someone's on the website. I get a notification about it, and I'm like, oh my gosh, so excited! Like, what are they looking at?
Yeah.
And it's just like that's the difference between like big corporations and small businesses.
Yeah, watching your analytics on your website just to see like who's on your website from where. It's weird when you see them from places all over the world, but when you're really seeing it locally, it's a better feeling, I would say. Like it's I just love helping out small business, and I feel like small businesses are more connected than ever now. They're not as it's not competition anymore. Even people in the same work fields as people, like if you had a competitor who's selling the same kind of stuff, you're not as cutthroat about how you do things. People want to help each other out. There's plenty of room and plenty of people out there for you to succeed on your own, right?
Yeah, for sure. And I think like there's been a few small businesses that will reach out to me and they're like, oh, like we kind of look up to what you're doing. Like, how did you do it? And I just want to help them grow. So it's not like it's taking food off my table or like, you know what I mean? Like kind of what you're saying where it's not a competition. Like I want to grow, you want to grow. We both offer different things. It's unlikely we're ever going to have the same exact fabrics or the same kind of message behind our brand. Like a lot of people go into like rescues and donating to rescues, whereas we go and we donate to like mental health initiatives.
Yeah.
So no matter what, even if you're selling the same product, there's a difference in the brand and the people behind it and the story. So I don't see it really as competition. I just want everyone to like grow and
Yeah.
accomplish their dreams kind of thing.
So you guys donate to mental health, right? So
Yeah.
that's, I mean, dogs and pets in general have been known as like the such positives for people's mental health. We like having the dog at the office here, like our dog. We find like our members are super happy with it because if you're having a crappy time, crappy day, they're relief. They are like if you just go up and pet them, they're relief to your stresses, and like for you to donate to mental health as a pet company, but right now mental health is huge. Um, People are not doing well mentally. So for you guys to donate to that, what drove you guys to do that?
Well, I am in my last year of psych nursing school. So I have like a really big passion for mental health, and I think similar to what you were saying, that dogs do really make a difference. Pets in general, cats, whatever your animal is, it makes a huge difference. And I think I noticed that within myself as well. When I got Benji, it was like, okay, you have to go and you have to take the dog out. You have all these responsibilities, and someone that's just so pure, and he just is so happy to have like a toy. And I think like it changes your perspective almost because they're so happy with just being with you and like having just a little bit of food, and you know what I mean? They don't need all this extra stuff in the world that we need or we think we need. And it's just like so relieving and so pure, I think. And then for mental health, like we really just try to connect with our followers as well because everyone kind of has a struggle and has a story. And I think it's important to just like foster that and start that conversation. Like I don't have to sit there and be a counselor for you, but we can say like it's okay to not be okay right now. And I think within the dog community as well, like that's a big thing. A lot of people, we just see them and they have their dogs, but a lot of people do have their dogs as like an emotional support as well.
Yeah, the therapy dogs they call them or something. There's actual like places for that where people will go just to pet a dog for a while, and that's they're like you said, they're so happy with basic. They're so happy, and I feel like since this past year and a bit, people are either accepting the basic that they've had to do, like stay home, do whatever, and they kind of realize there's more to life and that this is like you can be happy with the most basic of things. You maybe not getting paid as much as you were, you having to be home more, not seeing anybody, but almost like taking that mentality of a pet and realizing that hundreds of years ago, that's if we had even what we have right now, they would be happy, super happy with it. And we've come to really just expect so much. Like you said, a dog just all they expect is like food in a bowl, water in their bowl, and for you to come home to them and they're excited. They're super excited and go take them for a nice walk, take them out, spoil them like you can, but they're just amazing creatures and how loyal they are to us. It's amazing. I really that when you told me the whole mental health thing, that really struck because I talked to a lot of business owners, a lot of entrepreneurs, business owners, artists, and everybody is mentally drained in some form right now. So have you always had an interest in psych nursing too? Like,
originally when I was young and very, very ambitious, I wanted to be a psychiatrist, but I don't want to be in school that long. But now I'm kind of on the fence again. Like I have high aspirations. I always want to I'm a workaholic, like you said. I like to kind of keep on with my schooling and things like that. But I've always been interested in mental health. It's always been a passion of mine. And I just think it's so underserved. And unfortunately, there's not enough education and awareness about it. So there's a lot of stigma. And with that comes like people not seeking treatment when early treatment is the best outcome and things like that. And so I think I just want to open the door. I'm not trying to like dig in deep with anyone and uncover and cure them or whatever. I'm just opening the door and like providing education because I think even within the media, it's portrayed almost negatively. And I know telling people that I'm going to be a psych nurse, a lot of people are like, oh, you want to work with crazy people. And it's like, whoa, nope, they're just people.
No.
And so just the reaction that I've gotten from that is like, this is exactly why I do what I do. And I want to go into this field, is because I don't think people can truly like empathize and understand how scary it would be, for example, if someone was hearing voices, like how distressing that would be. We just see them as someone that's maybe talking to themselves in the streets, and we think that's not normal.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So I just want to kind of open that door and like create a safe space kind of for people to just like belong to some sense of community as well.
Yeah, I know mental health and men for the longest time. Like men look weak if you had any sort of mental like disabilities where you're just it just looked weak on men, and it's not. It's finally kind of getting a bit better. I know there's there's a lot of big corporations that I don't like. I respect that they do, like Bell does the Let's Talk, and I appreciate that. But what drives me crazy about big companies doing that is some of their actions don't really back up what they're fighting for. It's almost like they're doing it out of almost like a popular thing going on right now, and it's like jumping on a movement when they're trying to take credit for something that I really don't. Don't want to get too far into it, but if you're Bell and you're a multi-billion-dollar company, if you're firing a bunch of staff while you're talking about mental health, and there's no reason for you to be firing a bunch of staff, like just because you want to cut costs, you're not for mental health.
Yeah, I think like with that, it needs to be like represented in like your values as a business. That's kind of what you're saying. Like you have to have action beyond just donating. Like I think there has to be some type of like, what are you doing to actually like support mental health? Because it's more than just money. It's more than donation. It's like how you carry yourself in day to day. Like, are you judging the person that you see like talking to themselves? Are you judging them, or are you like coming from a place of concern, like, oh, I hope they're okay, that must be distressing, or what's going on for them, do they need help? So I think if it's your actions that kind of make the difference in who you are as a person, as opposed to the dollar value that you can contribute,
or like a popular hashtag or something. It's because I'm a big media, like that's part of what we do here, and mainstream media can be so big question mark on like how good they're doing for people. They're not doing very good for people at all. And I am a big sports fan. I'm sports radio locally, had a sports radio show for years, or a sports radio station. Bell, literally like a week after Bell Let's Talk Day, just scraps the station, and like almost 100 people losing their jobs, like a bunch of stations around Canada. Wow. When you dig deep into it, they got 200 and some odd $1 million from the Canadian government because of COVID. Does Bell need that donation when they have phone plans, TV plans, all this stuff? Did they really suffer in the past year? No, they probably did better because more people are at home watching TV and doing all that stuff. And they did this, no repercussions, when they just literally the week before were coming out as like the biggest name in pretty much Canada supporting mental health, when in reality, I don't know how much they really are doing for it. It's what's nice is you see a lot more. I'm a man, obviously, but like there's a lot more men coming forward about their issues, and I know I have plenty of friends that men that have bundled up their emotions for years, and then usually it gets to a breaking point.
Yeah, and it's like if we can just kind of talk about things and as they come and as they happen and deal with them, then there doesn't have to be that breaking point necessarily, because you're able to like release and kind of deal with your emotions. I feel like that fosters like healthier communication in relationships, because if you do something and it upsets me every time you do it, but only the 10th time you do it is when I react, how are you going to learn when you got away with it the other 10 times?
Right? Yeah, and it's gotta come out sooner, like you're saying. It's you can't let yourself build up and bundle up all that aggression and anger and hate, and that's where I think a lot of people nowadays is so many people are bundling up every emotion that they have, and then it's the extreme reaction to everything. People need to really like just appreciate life in the basic. We got to appreciate what we have, because we don't know when something like this could happen again, where it takes away so much, yet you realize what your what the important things are in life, right? yeah, what's your website? Where can we find where we can buy some Benjis
Yeah,
Bandanas?
so it's benjisbandanas.net. Our Instagram is Benjis Bandanas. Facebook is Benjis Bandanas as well. Yeah, you can kind of find us everywhere around like the Lower Mainland. There's we put like our business cards up places. We go to Mundy Dog Park all the time, so we have some flyers up there.
Nice.
But yeah.
Any local pet shops that carry your product?
Yeah, we carry our products at Philo Pets.
Yeah, nice.
We're supposed to introduce more products, but I've been so busy, so there will be some coming. But yeah, they still have a few bandanas there, I think.
Nice. Yeah, we had them as guests on the podcast a while back. Great couple.
They're amazing.
Yeah, I've been meaning to check out the store. Like my parents live in Coquitlam. I grew up in Coquitlam. So yeah, I've been meaning to check it out up at Como Lake Village. Yeah, so if anybody's in the Tri-Cities, you have a place to find your product in store as well. And then the website, that's check out your second website you ever built.
Yeah.
But hey, no, it's amazing because it's you take that time and you learn that stuff and you're doing well with it. So it's a well built website. It's amazing what technology is like now and how the do it yourself mentality, how far you can come.
For sure.
And it's really intimidating to just jump into that. So yeah, I really respect what you're doing. I respected what you were doing before you came in. I saw how many people loved what you were doing online with how you won the contest. And now knowing that your background in mental health, that's even more of a plus because that means you care about your company, you care about what you're doing, but you also are going to care about your customers because if you have a care for mental health, a lot of people just look at customers as dollar value.
Yeah.
And if you care about their well-being as well as you want them to enjoy what you're doing, that's amazing.
Yeah, I've met some amazing people that I wouldn't have met if I wasn't doing this. So it's just been so rewarding. Like I tell my parents, I keep taking on more because I love what I'm doing. Like I just love being able to connect with people on a different level. They don't have to buy things for me to have a conversation with them and to like just engage. Kind of, give someone that like community feeling and have them feel a sense of belonging, even if it's just through a screen. I think a lot of people still need that.
Yeah, that's kind of what we're doing here. Obviously, if every one of my interviews turned out to be a member, we'd have a ton of members. I just want to meet people in the community, no matter if they're interested in becoming members here, using the space or not. Because, I feel like any business could use our space, but if you can't see yourself using it, I have no problem with helping to promote. That's I want to help this community in every way, shape, or form, and I can see that you're doing the same. So yeah, I appreciate what you're doing. Again, what's your website?
benjisbandanas.net, and we ship across Canada. We ship worldwide. Most commonly, people are within Canada. That's our audience, but we also offer local pickup as well.
Cool. Yeah, how about the food? Can that ship worldwide?
Yeah.
Nice. That's awesome. Okay, well, thank you, Taylor. I appreciate you coming on.
Thank you so much.
Come back anytime. I know you want a membership here too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, hopefully we see you around more. Thanks again. Thank you guys for watching PoCommunity. Have a good one.
Thank you.